WUSM Hattiesburg. It's time for the Southern Miss Student Media Weekly Wrap Up. The Southern Miss Student Media Weekly Wrap Up is a look at the events Southern Miss Student Media covered throughout the week and the events Southern Miss Student Media is working on for next week.
Good afternoon, Golden Eagles, and welcome to the Weekly Wrap-Up Show on Southern Miss Radio. You're tuned into WUSM 88.5 FM. I'm your host for today, Adeline Fields, and today we're taking a look back at what SM2 has been up to this past week, as well as what's coming up next. Coming up, we have Carter Crow from Stratcom to start us off, right after a short break.
Recognition for your business or product. Appreciation from a dedicated audience. And establishing yourself as a caring member of the Hattiesburg community are only a few of the benefits of sponsoring programming on WUSM. In addition, our very cost-effective underwriting rates are tax-deductible. To learn more about the upsides of underwriting programming on WUSM, call 601-266-4287. Recognition for your business or product. Appreciation from a dedicated audience. And establishing yourself as a caring member of the Hattiesburg community are only a few of the benefits of sponsoring programming on WUSM. In addition, our very cost-effective underwriting rates are tax-deductible. To learn more about the upsides of underwriting programming on WUSM, call 601-266-4287.
Are you in a hurry? Well, I am. But as a paralyzed veteran, I had to overcome incredible challenges just to regain my independence and return to work. Finding a parking space shouldn't be one of them. Illegally parking in spaces reserved for people with disabilities is not only wrong, it's against the law. So please, think twice before pulling into a reserved parking spot. Even if it's just for a minute, it's 60 seconds too long. This has been a public service announcement from United Spinal Association.
Look through your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to our weekly wrap-up. We're going to start off with Carter Crow from Stratcom to talk about what's been going on with his division this week.
All right. Well, thank you, Adeline. Y'all know I love being here on Fridays. This is one of my favorite parts of this job, so I'm excited to be here. Lovely to talk to all the listeners out there. But right now, specifically, I want to focus on what we got up and posted this week on our social media platforms. We got articles from last week's paper up, and they came out from around Friday of last week to about Wednesday of this week. And then continuing with that, got a lot of good reviews, got a lot of comments, a lot of engagement. We love to hear back from students specifically. I mean, we love to hear back from everybody. The community, please let us know your opinions. Comment in there. Tell us what you feel. If you see something that you do or don't like, let us know. But going on with that, we had some really good short form videos sent over by the creative division, and I was extremely impressed with how they all turned out and with really how they did numbers wise, because all of them did pretty well, got amazing engagement. We love seeing what people think. And then Thursday, I believe it was, we went and posted a fun little video about, seeing who thinks who's in which sorority and yada yada. But we like to focus on our people on the campus as well. Coming up next week, however, we will be having some more short form videos coming out, some more articles, really focusing on the paper, which we'll talk about a little bit later. That's not my division, but I just like to really promote people to come and check out our Instagram, check out our Facebook, check out our X page. We post on all three of those. SM2.USM on Instagram, Southern Miss Student Media on Facebook, and SM2.media on X, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I really loved that sorority video. That was fun. I was watching it this morning.
I'm glad people are watching it.
Yeah.
I love seeing the reactions.
Awesome. Anything else that you want to add?
I think that's it from my side of the playing field.
Awesome. Well, coming up, we have a news wrap from Stephanie Perez-Munoz. And then after that, we will be talking with Huey. So we'll be right back after this break.
Active shootings in America have been an issue for years. Students are expressing how they think USM is prepared. Sophomore Kennedy Marshall believes that USM is equipped to handle an active shooting.
I feel like USM is prepared because if you go on campus, the camp police is pretty, they're pretty vigilant.
On the other hand, senior Gabby King does not feel that USM is prepared for an active shooting.
Personally, no, just because of Hattiesburg in general. I feel like most shootings that have happened aren't handled efficiently because they keep happening repetitively over and over again.
Although students had mixed emotions about USM's active shooter procedures, Chief of Police Rusty Keys assures that USM is prepared.
First thing to know is that no active shooter situation is the same. There's the unknowns, things you cannot factor in, but to overall plan and prepare for situations such as an active shooter, UPD, the University of Southern Mississippi, is very prepared.
University Police had their annual active shooter training this month. Chief Keys explains why training with local authorities is important.
We train together so we all do the same thing at the same time. We know how to respond. We know what kind of teams we got to put together to respond to the situation and what kind of building and how to communicate. We talk the same language. So that's why we train, and that training is very successful. We've been doing it for years.
Students can visit usm.edu/police for more information such as an active shooter training video. I'm Stephanie Perez-Munoz with SM2
Welcome back to our weekly wrap-up. You're tuned in to WSM 88.5 FM, and we're back talking with Huey Turlich, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the content that's been put out this week with SM2.
Yes, thank you, Adeline. This week has been a crazy week in production, just like every other week, but we are happy to say that the newspaper is out. It's around campus. And this week we actually made a trip to the Gulf Coast campus. So we are incorporating our newspaper to reach the coast from now on, as well as getting it into the community. So if you're out at any of the coffee shops or anywhere around, after today it will be out there. So keep an eye out for the student prints in your community. But yeah, we had a long week. We had a really good front cover story this week. We did a follow-up with the crosswalk accident story by Kennedy Drake last year. She done the first one after the incident with the student getting hit, and we done a follow-up story this year just to, show the safety concerns that have been sparked. So that one was really good, so front page paper. And then we had the Mississippi DEI ban in public education blocked here. So, big things going on. There's a lot to keep up. Make sure you're focusing on what's happening in the government, things like that. We try to make sure that our reporters are actually fixed on what will affect them. And in public education at the University of Southern Mississippi, it's important that we know what's going on. And then we had a one by Haley Shepard. She done the students struggling with work and school, or juggling, really. So a lot of our students do have a job as well as their full-time students. So it's really important to showcase their work and their dedication to their craft, because working and doing school, it comes into a lot of timing management issues and things like that. So it's very important that we showcase these people, and Haley did really well in that. So make sure we pick up a paper, read it. We did a lot of the football game. I know everybody's been talking about that. We weren't as excited to put the story in the paper just because it was a 17-34, I believe, loss, but I've heard of a lot of positive reinforcements from the team, so we're here supporting the Eagles. So I'll come out Saturday. We'll have more news on on sports stories coming up next week. But yeah, come out, support our team. We can see their drive. So we scored 2 touchdowns. I mean, we held up first half of the game, and then after halftime, they really drove us in that third quarter. I think they scored 2 touchdowns in that third quarter, really put us behind. But it was 10-13 halftime, so we see the improvement. We just got to, stand behind our sports team and make sure that we're out there
Eagles all the way.
Yeah,
to the top.
But yeah, a little more pressing news. We did have a story on students and faculty navigating the role of AI. AI is really big right now, and it's not going anywhere. They're actually keep developing more and more platforms. So it's really important to know, what to know about AI, I guess is what it is. Because it is a tool. It's not going anywhere here in the School of Media and Communication. We do teach about AI, but we also know that creativity comes from the person, not the machine. So it's very important that, you focus on what's going on with, developments in technology and stuff like that. Just a few other things happening around campus. Obviously, it is a new semester, so we had a special of USM students adjusting to the new semester. Everybody has to come in and figure out what school really is because it's not high school. It's a lot different having to juggle personal life, work, because, some students are out on their own for the first time, staying in dorms, so it's very interesting to get their take on what it's like to be on a new campus and the changes that they're feeling. Our USM graphic design students shined on a national stage, and Miss Nishnika has more on that story. And then obviously our pretty trees around campus, everybody knows about them. So the Friendship Oak stands as a symbol of resilience. So y'all go take a picture, find the paper, see if you can find the tree, tag us in it. You never know, we might comment back. That would be a Carter thing. But yeah, we also covered the curfew prompts on the youth support here in Hattiesburg. Over the summer, we had a few little incidences, and that put in a curfew for kids. And it's probably safer to have the curfew in, but who wants to say you got to be home at 11 o'clock? Like, we're adults sometimes, but definitely got to start acting like it. And then we had a story on student questioning the trash disposal access at Hattiesburg Hall. So y'all look into that, see if it affects you. Like, some of these stories are actually very relevant to our students here on campus. So y'all make sure you just grab a paper. They're all over campus. I can't name them all because there's too many places, but it's there. And we have started implementing the Roy Howard Community Journalism Center stories inside of our paper as well. They are a part of the School of Media and Communication as a media organization. They work in covering the desert community, so we are working to making sure that their stories are also seen over the campus. But yeah, let's see, we've got some new upgrades at the Roberts Stadium that was unveiled, so that's interesting. A few drives here on the USM campus. And yeah, and then some stories more related to sports. We do have a story on former athletes staying connected to sports here on campus. So it's very important because sometimes, like, when you're in a sport, that becomes your life. So it's like, when you get out, what does that mean? So they still have that connection to, where they were, who they were, and they still come and support our sports team. So that's a basic wrap-up of this week's Prince paper. We have a lot more coming in the future, and that's going to be more of Miss Vivian's area of expertise. So any questions, anything, reach out to the student prints. Let us know what's going on. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what we should change, or what we should cover. We love to hear from our readers, so just communicate with us. Huey Turlidge is a good person to contact. I'll usually get everything situated, but yeah, y'all grab a paper, snap a picture, support.
Yeah. Y'all, these newspapers have so much relevant information in these stories that our MMJs are working on. It's really fantastic work, so y'all should definitely go pick up a copy. We're going to take a short break with Andy Borelli reporting on the USM Freshman Council, and then a few sponsor messages, and then we'll be back with Vivian.
The Southern Miss Student Government Association recently opened applications for the 2025-2026 school year Freshman Council. Designed to introduce Golden Eagle freshmen to SGA, the council also gives freshmen an insight in how things around campus are run. SGA President Leah Johnson says she is an example of what the Freshman Council can produce, and also expands on why students should apply to join this council.
But the Freshman Council is specifically an advocacy board and an avenue for freshmen to advocate for the concerns of freshmen. The reason we're kind of retooling the program is because I'm very aware that the needs of freshmen are different sometimes than the needs of upperclassmen students.
Not only do Freshman Council members learn about the roles of student government, but they also host many events around campus, such as Homecoming and Freshman Fest, a whole week dedicated to Golden Eagle freshmen. President Johnson says the Freshman Council for the 2025 and 2026 school year will be announced by September 19th. For Southern Miss Student Media, I'm Andrew Barrett.
Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277, and the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, America, we need to have a little talk. We've got a lot of food in this country. So how are 17 million kids in America struggling with hunger? That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids who need it. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
To help solve hunger in Mississippi, contact Mississippi Food Network or visit feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
To the big-hearted, the bold, the teachers, the growers, the builders, the change makers, we need you. We are the Peace Corps. In more than 60 countries, we go the distance to make a difference. We're volunteers, partners, communities, bringing our experience, joy, and passion to building a better world together. Are you looking for more? Then we are looking for you. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
And we're back with the weekly wrap-up. Next up we have Vivian talking about some of our upcoming stories and everything for this next week. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so a lot of our MMJs, they're covering stuff on campus, but they're also covering stuff nationally and within Hattiesburg that pertains to students. So we have a variety of stories coming up this week. We have some stuff from SGA. We also have COVID-19 vaccine restrictions in Mississippi being covered. Stephanie's going to be covering some executive orders and kind of explaining those in terms of how it's going to affect students. And then we also have some sustainability efforts in Hattiesburg as well, and some other Hattiesburg local news coming up. We've been working hard at SM2. We have a lot of changes this semester, and I think things have been going really well. We also have Hub City Game Day. That's going to be our second episode is this weekend, and so stay tuned for that. And you can watch us on YouTube. We also have we're starting to post our packages on the Instagram as well and have those short form videos, so I think that's going to be really good. That's a new thing we're implementing this semester. And yeah, so we just have all the MMJs working together, and we have some new people, but we also have some returners, and I think they have been working really hard. So
yeah, shout out to all of our writers, all of our MMJs. Like they definitely give us a few gray hairs, a lot to be honest, but they do hard work, and we're trying to prepare them for the real world out there, like the media career field, because, I mean, news is not going anywhere. With everything happening, like, journalistic efforts are, like, really important to make sure that people know what's going on, because a lot of people don't understand when they hear something or when someone says something, because it may sound okay, but it's really important that we have these investigators who actually dig into these things to let people know about, the changes that could affect them. So big shout out to our MMJs. And also a big shout out to Vivian and Micah for getting SM2 on the big screen. So if you haven't seen it, we did post it on our Instagram account. SM2 is now in the Hub, is that it?
In the
Student Union. Yeah.
And the big screen above the Fresh, it's called Eagle Vision. So we're on all of the TV screens in the Student Union and the Fresh and the THAD, that whole area. So you'll be able to see not only SM2, but you'll also be able to see Hub City Game Day, Beyond Borders when that starts this semester. All of our creative shows will also be on there as well.
Big thanks to Eagle Vision for working with us to get, our stuff out there. Our students are working hard, so we appreciate all that. So definitely shout out to Eagle Vision
And I think at SM2, we really prioritize meaningful, impactful content, and I think this semester we've already hit the ground running with that. We've covered a lot of very important stories. Like Huey had mentioned, we'd covered the crosswalk follow-up story, And we've covered a lot of things that are just happening within the nation and within the state as well that are affecting our students, whether it's international students or just our other students. We've covered a lot of things along those lines.
Anything else that you want to add? Like anything else coming up?
Yeah, we do have a lot of sports reporters this semester as well. Mike has been working with them in the sports division, and they don't only do Hub City Game Day. So they've been doing sports recaps and stuff this semester. If you've seen any of our episodes this semester, you'll notice that the sports segment of the show also looks different. We are covering game footage instead of just running the scores for the games. We kind of are getting more into the nitty gritty of things. And our sports anchors have been doing really great. Alvia Walker, she's been working really hard this semester, honing on her skills. And Gabe Calhoun. We also have a freshman, Cameron Johnson, who has been working really hard with the other sports people and working on his skills, which I'm very proud of him because he's brand new. This is his first semester at Southern Miss. So he's been really hitting the ground running, and we've been working with the athletic department on getting some feature stories on different athletic departments and different students that not just football, but also soccer and all the other sports as well.
Awesome. Well, I think I'll give y'all a quick update on radio. We had some great interviews this past week. They're on YouTube if you're interested in watching. And coming up next week, we have on Monday Dr. Shin, who is a USM professor and author. On Tuesday, we have Mike Dixon with the Pine Belt Foundation coming to talk. And on Wednesday, we have Ivy Mallory, who's the director of In Wonderland, which is a new immersive theater experience. I'm really excited about that one. I'm excited to hear what she has to say in that interview. But on Friday, as always, we have our weekly wrap-up, which you're listening to right now. And yeah, tune in to WSM 88.5 FM at noon, Monday through Friday. We have a lot of great shows. We also have some student-run shows that are outside of those times as well. We have a few new ones, so tune in to those as well. But I think that was our weekly wrap.
Well, actually, I do have to step back in. Carter from Stratcom here. One last little announcement that I would like to make is that SM2 has officially settled on a date and a time for our annual SM2 open house. Yay. So, very excited to announce that October 7th, up here on the 3rd floor of College Hall, we will be having an open house. It is going to be free entrance. We are going to have informational booths set up for you to come out, learn anything that you want to know about us. We're going to all be there to answer your questions. We are opening this invitation out to businesses, local community members, students, faculty. We want the house filled. So, lovely to announce, like I said, on October 7th from 4 to 6, we will be having our open house.
And that's going to be College Hall, 3rd floor. If you don't know where College Hall is, we're the big building in the very front by the entrance. So you can't miss us. It's one of the oldest buildings on campus. So come see the history here and see what we've turned it into.
We'll have a lot of information about it coming up on our social media within the next week as well. So if anybody out there just needs like a second to think about it and wait, you can go and follow us on Instagram and check out the information there. But go ahead and mark your calendars now for October 7th from 4 to 6 in College Hall at the front of campus.
So excited for that.
Don't think about it too hard. Just say yes.
Carter he also reminded me, we are going to have a SM2 tailgate.
Yes.
Not this weekend, but the weekend after, so the 13th. And we're all going to be out there, everyone from all the divisions. So come out and see us, come hang out with us, cheer on the Eagles, and have a good time.
To the top.
To the top.
To the top.
Well, we have a lot of exciting things coming up, so definitely stay tuned on radio, TV, read the newspaper, check out the socials, so that you can stay up to date on all of the updates with with those events coming up. I think that's it now. Sorry
That's all, folks.
for almost skipping those really important announcements. But thanks for tuning in. This is WSM 88.5, and that was your weekly wrap up.
This has been the Southern Miss Student Media Weekly Wrap Up. A look at the events Southern Miss Student Media has covered throughout the week and the events Southern Miss Student Media is working on for next week. The Southern Miss Student Media Weekly Wrap Up airs Fridays at noon on Southern Miss Radio. We'll see you next week for the Southern Miss Student Media Weekly Wrap Up.